Brendan Mortensen joined here in Bowie by Orioles General Manager, Vice President Mike Elias. And Mike, Cade Povich and Chase McDermott are here. Obviously, they're new to the organization, but what are your initial impressions of those two guys so far?
Well, they've both had terrific introductions to the organization in Aberdeen. Chase, I think his first outing, he struck out the side, and then the rain came, but then he had a really good second start. And Cade Povich has put together two dominant starts. I think he was the league pitcher of the week, or won some accolades. So I think it's nice. They got their feet settled in our organization, and we were quick to move them up here to Double-A. And I think it's good timing for this team. This team, I think, is a game and a half out of the playoffs. We've got a great lineup, and to get two big-time starting pitchers to help them down the stretch will be fun.
Colton Cowser also recently got a promotion here to Bowie, and he's been mashing since he got here. What have you seen in terms of his improvement as he's jumped up a level?
Well, he's certainly been working with our hitting department to get kind of the best blend of contact and power that he's capable of. But I think we've learned that Aberdeen, it's a tough ballpark to hit in. It's a bigger ballpark, and it seems like a lot of these guys, when they go from Aberdeen to this league and to this ballpark, some of their numbers tend to improve. So I think that's part of it too. But it's always really a good sign when you take a kid in the draft and a year later he's in Double-A. That's not common. So for him and Norby and John Rhodes to all be here means they're off to excellent starts.
Cesar Prieto, another guy who just walked behind us here. What are your plans for him in terms of defensively? Is he going to kind of bounce around between some different positions?
Well, we signed him as a second baseman, but out of the necessity of having to move around in our minor leagues because we have so many good infielders, he's shown himself at shortstop and particularly at third base to be pretty interesting. So I think we're going to keep moving him around. I was just talking to Tim DeJohn, who's the infield coach here, and he really likes what he's seeing from Cesar at third base right now.
So another guy who's been really improving here is Joey Ortiz. It finally seems like he's getting healthy, and the bat is really coming along. What have you seen from him lately?
Sounds like the health is really the main thing. I mean, he had a front shoulder surgery, which is always tough for a hitter. And now we're getting that in the rearview mirror, and the offensive production, and particularly the power, is starting to show back up. So it is a slam dunk infield impact shortstop glove. So he's just going to kind of have to hit enough to go along with that, and I think he's definitely doing that right now. So that's a very exciting development for us in the second half to get him back on track.
With how good he is defensively, do you think he could potentially be a quick riser throughout the organization?
Yeah, he just has to have his bat sort of keep up with how polished his glove is. And I think, what he's doing right now in Double-A is more than enough to see the next level. And I'm sure that's coming for him. But, given what's happened to him the past year with the shoulder, we want to get him an extended taste of consistency and success before doing anything too drastic.
Alexander Wells is here on rehab. Do you know what the plan for him is over the next few weeks?
Yeah, he's just going to pitch for this team, continue to build innings and feel healthy. I mean, it was an elbow sprain. It's been a while. I think we're going to see a number of rehab outings for him before we can check the box and determine that he's ready to come off the IL and help.
Now, over the last few years here, we've talked about how exciting it is that the farm system has built up to the point where it's one of the best in all of baseball. Just for you personally, how exciting is it to now have the combination of the great farm system and also the big league team starting to come around?
I think it's very gratifying for everyone who's been involved in this project to be now at the point where we have so much in front of us, and we have so much going for us now. We've got this young, talented, winning team in the major leagues. There are a bunch of players on that team that are going to be with us for the long haul, and beneath that we're sitting on the #1 farm system. And it's not just the #1 farm system. We've got the Baseball America #1 prospect in the game right now in Gunnar Henderson. Grayson Rodriguez, who's hurt, is the consensus top pitching prospect. He'll be back soon. And then we've got the 2022 #1 overall pick, Jackson Holliday, down in the Florida Complex League. And we've got 6 or 7 guys on top 100 prospect lists. So it's just a really healthy system. And I think a lot of it is in the upper minors, so it's going to be ready to help the team that we see on our TV screen basically from now into the next couple of years.
Speaking of Gunnar Henderson, it seems like he's kind of answered a lot of the questions that a lot of people had about him moving up into the upper echelon of the minors here in terms of hitting left-handers well and playing good defensive shortstop. How encouraging has that been for you?
Well, obviously he's had one of the best years of anyone in the minors, which is why he shot up the prospect list. He was very, very dominant here in Bowie. It was clear it wasn't enough of a challenge for him with the more walks than strikeouts. So even with his age, being as young as it is. I think he was 20 years old at the time of the promotion. We slid him up to AAA. It's proven to be a little bit more of a challenge. You see the strikeout rate has crept up. You know, he's still having some fits with left-handed pitching, but overall his numbers in AAA are very, very encouraging. He's doing great. He's by far the youngest player in the whole league. And, you know, we're going to do what's right for him first and foremost, but I think he's also putting himself in a position to be in a lot of conversations about maybe helping this team down the stretch. So we'll just see what happens.
And before we let you go, you know, obviously the big league club has really turned things around here lately. Do you feel that organizationally in terms of a mentality shift where, okay, the big league team is really getting to where we want it to be and it's in conjunction with how well the minors are playing?
I think the minors have been a big part of what's going on culturally at the major league level. We've got an organization on the coaching side that works really well from the major leagues down to the minor leagues. There's a lot of cross communication. There's relationships. There's people that have worked together for a few years, and the players too. And I'd lead that conversation with Adley Rutschman. He was kind of the captain of our whole program everywhere he went through the minors, and I think he's carried a lot of that up to the big leagues. And I think that this feels like an organization that's attached from head to toe, and I think the players feel that.
Mike Elias, Orioles General Manager and Vice President, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Brendan.